Hi guys, welcome back to episode 3. I'm still having a ton of fun recording these, way more fun than I expected to. I'm also getting a ton of comments from people through text messages and YouTube comments that are really inspirational. So I appreciate all the positive feedback. It really is inspiring me to keep making these and keep the channel, going. I'm excited to see where this heads. So today I have one album that came out this year that I'm going to review for you and 2 represses that came out in late 2019. So let's get started. The first album that I want to review is Space Dimension Controller. It's his album Love Beyond the Intersect. This is a really interesting album because up until now, Space Dimension Controller's albums have been pure electro. I've never been a fan of the really pure electro. I know there's a lot of people that absolutely love that genre. For me, it just doesn't. I don't dislike it. I could listen to a mix of it, but it doesn't really get me excited. I think the reason that I like this one so much is because it's actually, I think, a house or maybe tech house release with some ambient breaks in it. And if you follow SDC or Space Dimension Controller, you'll notice that sometimes he does delve in between house and electro, and sometimes it's house with electro elements, but more of like a house beat. So I think this would be a gateway album for somebody that really isn't familiar with him, but would want to check him out and maybe dip a toe into the world of electro. One thing that I find interesting about the genre is that electro artists seem to completely revolve around this space future, 2,000 years into the future, people are having sex with robots. I don't know where that whole concept came from, because if you think about it, there's no other genre in electronic music that has a theme locked in with it like that. You can't really say that house has a particular theme, but for some reason, for example, but the electro releases, for some reason, they have this future space theme. I don't know how that came to be, but I always thought it was amusing. So yeah, if you're into electro or you want to just try something a little bit different, I highly recommend this. The cover art is awesome, and the records are also purple, which they just turned out great. So give it a try, guys. Let me know what you think. The next release that I want to talk about tonight is by Gerber, an artist that I've been following since 2007, I would say, when his Late Bloomers album came out on Cocoon. If you guys keep up with his productions, you know that he brings quality almost every time. He had that label called Supplement Facts, which had a ton of great music that came out from, maybe the late 2000s to the early, maybe to 2013-ish. I think it folded up. But yeah, this track here is called What to Do. It has a sampled vocal from a track, some older 60s or 70s song. I think it's a very classy sample of it. The repress just hit the shelves in the fall, maybe October of 2019, and I know there were a lot of people waiting on that. It was selling on Discogs for 60, 70, 80 bucks, and now the repress hit and everybody gobbled him up. But rightfully so. Like I said, possibly his best track ever. And I also highly recommend the track on the B2 called I think Hummingbird Blues. It reminds me of a Macioplex track from maybe 2012. It just has that real nice smooth Crosstown Rebels sound to it. So I think the fact that you can get this thing for 10, 12 bucks still, this is a total bargain. And I think What to Do will be a track that you'll be playing for the next 10, 15 years easily. It's just that good. So check it out, guys. Last release I want to talk about tonight is by an artist named Solomun. Everybody in the DJing community knows who Solomun is. He's huge. He drops a ton of records and remixes, and he's just one of those guys that when you see his name on a track list, you have to check it out. Not everything that he releases is awesome. He does different flavors and he switches up his style a lot, but when he hits big. And I think pound for pound, this one here, Solomun, number 36 on Compost Black label, is one of his best. I'm not saying it's the best, but it's definitely up there. You have Somebody's Story on the B-side, which is a 9-minute rolling tech house track with lots of twisted dark sounds. I mean, it just seems like it was built for a 3 a.m. like club venue kind of setting. And the track on the other side that I also am very interested in is called Don't Cry. And Don't Cry has a very punchy, like pulsing kind of bass line in the intro. And I always had this idea of somehow having my set just come to a complete stop and letting the music literally just go completely silent for 5 or 10 seconds. Just have people looking at the DJ booth like what's gonna happen next, and then just having the volume up and just mashing the play button on that. Just let it roll right from the beginning. I think people would absolutely lose their minds if you just time that correctly. But you know, I only gig out like once a year at this point, so you know the chances or the opportunity for me to do that, you know, it's not really there. But anyways, yeah, this record, it was coming in at Discogs maybe 60-70 bucks plus shipping last year, and then out of nowhere Compost Black Label does a repress and catches everybody off guard. I mean, I know that Compost is still active, but I didn't think that they would go back and touch a release from 2008 and revive it. But maybe they got so many requests in their inbox they just couldn't take it anymore. So thank you, Compost, for repressing one of Solomun's best records ever. And guys, definitely check this out. Add it to your collection. It's still cheap, and you gotta have it. Take care. So that's all for tonight, guys. I have to admit I'm a little bit low on energy tonight. It's been a rough week dealing with a little bit of stress here and there. But I'm thankful that I have you guys checking out my videos. I just had a few that I had to get off my chest, and I'm looking forward to recording the next episode. Take care.